Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Easy English podcast from English Life Channel, your friendly place to listen, practice, and grow your English through real conversations. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Alex. Hello, Sarah. Hello, everyone. I'm really glad you're here with us today.
I'm glad you're here too, Alex, because you look like you've already had a very long day.
Is it that obvious?
A little. What happened?
Nothing terrible. This morning, before my feet even touched the floor, I checked my phone. I saw unfinished tasks, missed messages, and a packed schedule.
That's a lot to see before you've even left your bed.
It was. I looked at everything waiting for me, pulled the blanket over my head, and thought, maybe I should cancel today and start again tomorrow.
So the day had barely begun, and you already wanted to give up on it?
Basically. My calendar was fully booked, but my motivation had called in sick.
I don't think motivation remembered to send an email.
No warning at all. It left me alone with 12 unfinished tasks and no desire to face any of them.
I think many listeners know that feeling. One difficult morning can make everything seem heavier than it really is. And that is why today's episode is called Don't Give Up on Yourself.
We'll use clear, natural English to talk about setbacks and decide when to rest, continue, ask for help, or change a plan.
If you enjoy learning English through real conversations, subscribe to English Life Channel. Stay with us, because near the end, we'll test these ideas in a few realistic situations.
I may need that practice myself.
I think you will. But first, when you pulled that blanket over your head, were you truly abandoning your goals, or were you simply overwhelmed?
At that moment, I couldn't see the difference. I was thinking, I'm always falling behind. I'll never catch up. Maybe I should stop trying.
Let's make always falling behind more specific. What were you actually behind on?
Work messages, things at home, and my English plan. That bothered me most. I'd written 30 days of English in a notebook and planned 45 minutes each evening. I studied for 6 days, missed the next 4, and by this morning I was avoiding the notebook.
And how did you describe those 4 missed days to yourself?
I thought, I failed again.
Did you take a test during those 4 days?
No.
Did anyone tell you that you had failed a course?
No.
Then, I failed doesn't describe what happened very accurately. A more useful sentence is, I fell behind.
I fell behind.
Right. When you fall behind, you make less progress than you planned, or you do something later than expected. It simply means you aren't as far along as you planned. It doesn't describe your value as a person.
So if I miss 2 lessons, I can say, I fell behind in my course.
Yes. Or, I'm a little behind on my lessons. That version sounds very natural too. Listeners, think of one responsibility you're behind on. Finish this sentence in your own voice. I'm a little behind on... Alex, how would you finish it?
I would say, I'm a little behind on my English lessons, but I can still return to them.
That sentence acknowledges the delay without turning it into a permanent judgment about you.
What if I really fail a test? Then can I say, I failed?
You can say, I failed the test. That's a fact about one result. Be careful with, I'm a failure. That turns one event into a permanent identity.
I failed the test describes the test. I'm a failure attacks the whole person.
That's the distinction. And notice that we aren't pretending the result was good. We're describing it accurately.
I like that. Sometimes positive advice feels fake. If I got a low score, I don't want someone to tell me it was secretly wonderful.
I wouldn't say that. A disappointing result can still be disappointing. Balanced English might sound like this. I didn't get the result I wanted, but now I know what I need to work on.
That feels honest. It leaves the door open without pretending I'm happy about the result.
Nicely put. Now let's look at another door. The difference between giving up and giving up on yourself.
Aren't they basically the same?
Not always. If you give up an activity, you stop doing it. For example, I gave up drinking soda, or I gave up trying to repair that old chair.
The chair won?
Completely. One leg was shorter than the others, and I accepted defeat.
Fair enough. What about give up on?
When you give up on a person, a possibility, or yourself, you stop believing that improvement or success is possible. I gave up on the chair means I stopped believing I could repair it. I gave up on myself is much deeper. It means I stopped believing that I could learn, recover, change, or make a better choice.
So I can give up trying to follow a terrible study schedule without giving up on myself.
You can. In fact, changing that schedule may be one way of taking care of yourself.
That already sounds different from, I ruined everything.
Because the language changes the size of the event. 4 missed days are 4 missed days. They are not proof that your future has disappeared.
Hold on, though. Sometimes I say, I'm not motivated, and people immediately tell me to be disciplined. Is losing motivation always just an excuse?
No, I'm not feeling motivated is a very natural sentence, but it doesn't tell us why. The reason matters because different problems need different responses.
Give me an example.
Imagine that you're too tired to study because you slept for 4 hours. What you may need is rest. Now imagine that you have energy but don't understand the lesson. What you may need is help.
Same sentence. I don't feel motivated, but a different problem underneath it.
Right. You may also feel bored because the method doesn't suit you. You may feel afraid because you expect yourself to be perfect. Or you may realize that the goal no longer fits your life.
That last one sounds serious.
It can be. Before we decide what to do, we need a more specific sentence. Let's test your situation. Were you physically exhausted?
On 2 of the evenings, yes. I got home late and could barely keep my eyes open.
Then you could say, I was running low on energy. It means you had very little energy left.
I was running low on energy, so I went to bed instead of studying.
That was a break, not giving up. When you take a break, you stop temporarily because you intend to rest or return later.
Then I can say, I took a break because I was exhausted.
Now suppose you slept well but avoided speaking because you were afraid of making mistakes. Would another day of rest solve that problem?
Probably not. I'd still be afraid tomorrow.
Then rest isn't really the answer. A small action might help more. You could prepare 1 sentence and join a conversation for 5 minutes.
A small action instead of extra rest. That makes sense.
Good. Were you confused by the material?
A little. I had chosen a 40-minute grammar video, and after 12 minutes, I wasn't sure what the speaker was explaining.
Then I got stuck would work. I got stuck on the grammar explanation.
That sounds much more specific than English is impossible.
It also gives you a direction. If you're stuck, you can find a simpler explanation or ask someone a question.
I was also avoiding the notebook because I knew I had missed several days.
What were you afraid would happen if you opened it?
Honestly, I thought the empty pages would prove that I had no discipline.
There's the third problem. You weren't only tired or confused. You felt discouraged and a little ashamed.
Discouraged means I lost confidence because things weren't going well, right?
Yes. You can say, I felt discouraged after falling behind. That sentence names the emotion without making it permanent.
Tired, stuck, and discouraged. That's a much clearer picture than lazy.
And each word points toward a different response. Rest when you're exhausted, get help when you're stuck, and choose a manageable next step when you're discouraged.
Manageable. That means small enough to handle.
Exactly. So, what would be manageable tonight?
My old answer would be 45 minutes, because I'd want to catch up immediately.
And what usually happens when you try to repair 4 missed days in one evening?
I make a heroic schedule, look at it for 5 minutes, and then become strangely interested in cleaning the refrigerator.
A very productive form of avoidance.
The refrigerator looks excellent. My English does not.
Then let's make the task smaller without making it meaningless. Could you listen to one short conversation for 12 minutes?
12, yes. I can manage 12 minutes.
There's your model sentence. I can manage 12 minutes tonight. Notice that it focuses on what is possible now.
What if 12 minutes feels too easy? Part of me thinks a small step doesn't count.
A small step isn't supposed to impress you. It's supposed to help you return. You can always continue if you have energy, but the first promise should be realistic enough to keep.
So the purpose isn't to finish the entire journey tonight. It's to rebuild trust with myself.
That's a thoughtful way to say it. Every time you keep a reasonable promise, you prove to yourself that you can come back.
Let me try a full sentence. I fell behind this week, but I can manage 12 minutes tonight. I'm picking my English lessons back up.
That works. Pick something back up means returning to it after pausing.
I like that. I'm picking my lessons back up. Sounds as if the return has already begun.
It does. And here's another natural phrase, start where you are. It means you work with your current time, energy, and ability instead of waiting for ideal conditions.
I wanted a perfect restart, but I'm going to start where I am.
Good. Now imagine a learner who missed a whole month, not 4 days. Would 12 minutes still matter?
I think so, but the learner might need a new plan instead of pretending the old calendar still works.
You're already solving the next problem. A restart is not always a return to the exact same schedule.
Maybe the person can say, I'm starting again, but I'm changing my approach.
Very natural. Approach means the way you deal with a task or problem. If daily grammar exercises made you avoid English, you might use shorter conversations, stories, or speaking practice instead.
So, start again doesn't have to mean repeat the same mistake with fresh energy.
Definitely not. That would be persistence without learning.
I've done that before. New Monday, same impossible plan, different colored pen.
Did the new color help?
For about 7 minutes.
Then the problem wasn't your pen. It may have been the plan.
That's easy to see when we're talking calmly. It's harder right after something goes badly.
It is. What happened the last time you felt that way while speaking English?
Last week, I joined an online conversation group. Someone asked me what I had done over the weekend. It was a simple question, but my mind went blank.
You couldn't think of anything to say?
Nothing. I knew the words weekend, friend, and movie, but they were standing in separate corners of my brain and refusing to work together.
That is exactly what going blank can feel like.
I finally said, I go movie with friend yesterday, and then I heard my own grammar. After the call, I thought, I've studied for years, and I still can't answer an easy question.
What did the other person do?
She smiled, understood me, and asked what movie I had seen.
So the conversation continued.
It did, but I ignored that part. I only remembered the mistake.
That's important. The embarrassment was real, but you left out part of the story. You froze for a moment, made a grammar mistake, and still communicated.
I froze is useful here, isn't it?
Very useful. When you freeze, you temporarily cannot think, speak, or act because you're nervous or surprised. You could say, I froze when she asked me a question.
And my mind went blank means I suddenly couldn't remember what to say.
Right. Neither phrase means you know nothing. They describe a temporary moment.
How should I describe the whole experience without pretending it was comfortable?
Try this. I had a rough moment in the conversation. My mind went blank, but I answered, and the other person understood me.
A rough moment sounds limited. It was part of the conversation, not my entire English ability.
Exactly. You can also say, speaking was harder than I expected, or I wasn't happy with my answer, but I stayed in the conversation.
I like the last one. Staying in the conversation was actually a small success.
That's how you notice progress without pretending the mistake was good. You simply include the part that went well.
Let me repair my answer too. I should have said, I went to a movie with a friend yesterday.
Yes. Or, because the question was about the weekend, I went to a movie with a friend on Saturday.
If I join the group again, I could prepare 1 or 2 simple weekend sentences first.
That's a practical response to a setback. You identify what happened, repair one sentence, and return with a small plan.
But what if I keep having the same problem? At some point, don't I need another person's help?
Often, yes. Not giving up on yourself doesn't mean solving everything alone.
Asking for help can be difficult, especially when you already feel embarrassed.
Then the first useful phrase is, "Can I talk this through with you?" To talk something through means to discuss it carefully so you can understand it or decide what to do.
I might tell a friend, I had a difficult time in conversation class. Can I talk it through with you?
That works. If you mainly need emotional support, you can be even clearer. I could use a little encouragement today.
That feels honest, but also vulnerable.
It is vulnerable. It also prevents the other person from guessing what you need.
Sometimes a friend immediately gives me 10 solutions when I only wanted someone to listen.
Then say, "I don't need advice yet. I just need someone to listen for a minute."
That might save both of us a lot of confusion.
The other person can ask a useful question too. Do you want advice, or do you want me to listen?
Let's try that. I'll be the discouraged learner.
Go ahead.
I joined a speaking group, made a simple mistake, and now I don't want to go back.
Do you want advice, or do you want me to listen first?
Listen first, please.
I'm listening. What part bothered you most?
I felt as if everyone else could speak easily, and I was the only slow person.
That sounds lonely. Did anyone actually criticize you?
No, that was my assumption.
Would you like advice now, or do you need another minute?
Advice now.
Prepare 2 weekend sentences, go back one more time, and judge the experience after your second visit instead of deciding everything from one rough moment.
That helped. You listened first, and then you gave me one clear next step.
Support can be warm and practical at the same time.
How would I ask for help at work? I could use a little encouragement, might sound unusual with my manager.
It depends on the relationship, but a more professional version would focus on the task. You could say, "I'm struggling with this part of the project. Could you help me identify the main issue?"
Or, could you show me one example of what you're looking for?
Good. If the problem is time, try, "I'm concerned about the deadline. Could we discuss the priorities?"
That sounds better than waiting until the deadline and announcing, "Surprise, nothing is finished."
Much better. You can also request a check-in. "Could we review my progress on Friday?" That gives you a clear moment to ask questions before the problem becomes larger.
So with a friend, I can name the emotional need. With a manager, I usually name the work problem and request a specific kind of support.
Usually, yes. The feeling may still be real, but professional language helps the other person understand what action would help.
I'm noticing something. Asking for help isn't giving up. Sometimes it's how you keep going.
Keep that thought, because it leads to a harder question.
Let me guess. Is continuing always the right choice?
Not always. People here don't give up and imagine that stopping anything is weak. But you can stop a method, leave an unhealthy situation, or change a goal without giving up on yourself.
Then how do I know whether I should continue or stop?
Try not to decide while the shame feels strongest. First ask what is actually wrong. Are you temporarily tired? Are you missing information? Is the plan unrealistic? Or is the goal itself taking you somewhere you no longer want to go?
In other words, don't let one difficult morning make a decision for the next 5 years.
Exactly. Once you're calmer, you have several choices. You can rest, reduce the task, revise the plan, or let go of a goal that is no longer right.
So I can rest, reduce, revise, or let go. I wanted a neat 4R list, but natural English refused to cooperate.
You can still write the 4 choices in your notebook. Just remember that they are options, not 4 steps everyone must follow.
Let's test them with my English schedule. If I'm exhausted tonight, I rest.
Yes, especially if sleep is what your body needs.
If 45 minutes is too much, I scale it back to 12.
Right. To scale something back means to reduce its size, amount, or intensity.
If I keep getting lost in long grammar videos, I revise the method and use shorter conversations.
Good. Would you let go of the goal of learning English?
No, the goal still matters to me. The schedule and method were the problem.
Then you have a clear answer for this situation.
What if I honestly don't know whether the method or the goal is the problem?
You don't have to decide during one emotional moment. You can say, I'm giving myself 1 week to test a smaller plan before I decide.
So uncertainty can have a temporary plan, too.
Yes, a short experiment gives you information instead of another guess.
Give me one where letting go of something might be reasonable.
Imagine that you joined an advanced course because a friend pressured you. You can't follow the lessons, it keeps you from getting enough sleep, and it doesn't support your real goal. You've asked for help, but there's no suitable lower level.
Leaving that course might be sensible. I could choose a different course instead.
Yes. You might say, this course isn't the right fit for me, so I'm choosing another approach.
Not the right fit sounds calm. It doesn't blame the course or the learner.
That's why it's useful. The course may be good for someone else, but wrong for your level, schedule, or purpose.
Then I could say, I'm not giving up on learning. I'm rethinking my approach.
Yes. You're ending one unsuitable method, not abandoning your ability to grow.
So the title doesn't mean I must finish every book, course, plan, or challenge I ever start.
No. If the goal still matters, you can adjust the plan. If the goal no longer fits, or the situation repeatedly harms your health, safety, or basic responsibilities, changing direction may be the stronger choice.
That makes "don't give up on yourself" sound less like pressure and more like protection.
That's the meaning I want. Protect your ability to make a thoughtful next decision.
Making a calm decision is hard enough. It gets even harder when someone criticizes your work.
Then let's practice that. I'll give you feedback about a short presentation. Ready?
I'm ready. But please remember that I'm emotionally attached to my imaginary presentation.
I'll be clear and respectful. Alex, your main idea was useful, but the presentation was difficult to follow. You moved between points quickly, and the final example didn't connect clearly to your conclusion.
My first thought is, she hated everything.
Did I say that?
No. You said the main idea was useful, then identified 2 problems.
What could you say before defending yourself or giving up?
Thank you. That was hard to hear, but I want to improve.
Good beginning. That was hard to hear. Acknowledges your reaction without accusing the other person of being cruel.
Then I could ask, what should I focus on next?
Yes, although my feedback contained 2 points. You could make the question more specific. Should I work on the organization first, or the final example?
That makes the next action clearer.
Try the whole response naturally.
Thank you for being honest. That was hard to hear, but I'd like to improve. Should I work on the organization first, or the final example?
I'd suggest the organization first. If the order is clear, it will be easier to choose an example that supports the conclusion.
Could you show me where I moved between points too quickly?
Excellent request. You're asking for a specific example instead of leaving with a vague feeling that everything was wrong.
I also didn't say, fine, I'll never give another presentation. Progress.
Visible progress. Now I'll make the situation harder. Imagine the feedback arrives at the end of a tiring day, and you cannot think calmly. What could you say?
I appreciate the feedback. I need a little time to process it. Could we talk about the next steps tomorrow?
That's professional and responsible. To process information means to give yourself time to understand it and manage your reaction.
It's a break, not an escape.
Precisely. You name when you will return to the conversation.
What if the feedback is too vague? Someone says, "This just isn't good enough."
You can ask, "Could you give me one specific example of what needs to change?" Or, "What would a stronger version look like?"
And if the person refuses to explain?
Then you have learned something about the quality of the feedback. Not all criticism is useful. Look for information you can act on, and don't treat one unsupported opinion as a complete judgment of your ability.
That's difficult when the person has authority.
It is. You may still need to respond professionally, keep a written record of what is expected, or ask another appropriate person for clarification. You can listen to criticism without accepting every judgment behind it.
Can we try the same situation with a friend? The language would be less formal.
All right. You showed me a video you made, and I say, "I got confused in the middle."
I might answer, "Ouch, where did I lose you?"
That works with a close friend. It's casual, honest, and still asks for useful information.
Ouch probably isn't my best response to a manager.
Probably not, unless you have a very unusual office.
So the professional version is, "That was hard to hear. Could you give me a specific example?" The friendly version can be, "Ouch, where did I lose you?"
Same communication need, different relationship.
And after I receive the example, I choose what to do with it. Rest, reduce, revise, or let go.
You remembered all four.
Apparently, my motivation has returned to work.
Then perhaps you're ready to help me with something I've been avoiding.
You're asking me for advice now?
Yes. I planned to create a short pronunciation practice series. I wrote 6 lesson ideas, recorded the first one, listened to it, and decided my voice sounded strange.
Sarah, everyone thinks their recorded voice sounds strange at first.
I know that intellectually. Emotionally, I closed the folder and avoided it for 3 weeks.
What sentence have you been saying to yourself?
If the first recording sounds awkward, I'm probably not good at this kind of project.
I'd change more than one word there.
Go ahead. You're the guide now.
First, sounds awkward to me is more accurate than sounds awkward. You're reacting to your own recorded voice. We don't know how another listener would hear it.
Fair correction.
Second, one recording cannot prove that you're not good at an entire kind of project. You recorded a first attempt and didn't like it. That's the event.
You separated the result from my identity.
I had a good teacher. Now, are you tired, stuck, afraid, or no longer interested in the goal?
I'm not tired, and I still like the idea. I think I'm afraid of sharing something imperfect.
Then, letting go of the goal doesn't seem necessary. Could you reduce the first lesson?
From 5 minutes to 2?
2 minutes sounds manageable. And could you ask one trusted person for specific feedback before deciding what every future viewer will think?
I could send it to you.
You could. Tell me whether you want encouragement, advice, or both.
Both, but begin with encouragement.
Yob's choice. I'll say one kind thing before I touch the imaginary red pen.
It is not an imaginary red pen. I've seen it.
Fine. I'll use a friendly blue pen.
What would my new sentence be?
Try. My first recording felt awkward to me, but I'm not where I want to be yet. I'll make a shorter version and ask for specific feedback.
That is much more useful. You included the feeling, the current gap, and the next action.
And I used yet. We should slow that sentence down for listeners.
Good idea. Listen to the rhythm. I'm not where I want to be yet.
The important word is yet. It means you haven't reached that point now, but you believe progress is still possible.
Now at a natural speed, I'm not where I want to be yet.
That one word leaves the future open without promising that improvement will be instant.
You've moved from hiding under the blanket to explaining nuance.
I'm not where I want to be yet.
Nicely done.
Can we give listeners their 3 situations now?
Yes. Listeners, you don't need one perfect answer. Think of one natural sentence that fits each situation. If you want more thinking time, simply pause the episode before you hear our answer.
Situation 1. You plan to practice English every day, but a busy week interrupted your routine. You still care about the goal. What could you say instead of, I ruined everything?
I would say, I fell behind this week, but I'll pick it back up on Saturday.
I would say, I'm starting where I am. I can manage 10 minutes today.
Both responses describe a return without demanding a perfect restart.
Situation 2. A teacher says that your writing has good ideas but needs clearer organization. The feedback hurts, but you want useful information. What could you say?
I would say, that was hard to hear, but I want to improve. Could you show me one section that needs to be clearer?
That admits the feedback hurt and asks for one clear example.
Situation 3. You joined a course that is far above your level, keeps you from getting enough sleep, and doesn't support your real goal. You have considered the decision calmly. What could you say?
I would say, this course isn't the right fit for me. I'm choosing a different approach.
Leaving that particular course does not mean abandoning your ability to learn.
I want to add one more situation, but this one will be personal to each listener.
Go on.
Think of one goal you care about but have avoided recently. Don't design a perfect month. Choose one action you can honestly manage today or tomorrow.
It might be opening the document, listening for 10 minutes, sending one message, or asking one clear question.
Say the action once in your own voice. Start with, I can manage. Sarah, what would you say?
I would say, tomorrow, I can manage 1 2-minute recording.
And I would say, I can manage 12 minutes of English tonight. Neither of us has to clean the refrigerator first.
That condition may be difficult for you.
I'm willing to grow.
And what about the 12 tasks waiting for you this morning?
I chose the 3 that truly need my attention today. The rest can wait, be broken into smaller steps, or move to tomorrow's list.
So you didn't cancel today after all?
No, I just made the day smaller.
Before we finish, what are you going to write in your notebook?
I'm crossing out 45 perfect minutes every day. Under it, I'm writing, today, 12 minutes and 1 weekend sentence.
Are you keeping the title 30 Days of English?
No, it was turning every missed day into a judgment. I'm changing it to My English Comeback Plan.
That sounds like a plan you can return to, not a test you can fail.
That's what I want to remember. I fell behind. I didn't disappear. I had a rough moment. I still communicated. I can rest, reduce, revise, ask for help, or choose a different path without giving up on myself.
That's a real change. This morning, you wanted to hide from the plan. Now you've created one you can actually return to.
I noticed. Please give my returning motivation some credit.
It may be allowed to keep its job after all.
Listeners, here is our question for you. What is one goal you want to pick back up, and what small step will you take? Write one simple sentence in the comments if you'd like to share it.
If this conversation helped you, please like the video, subscribe to English Life channel, and share this episode with someone who may need a little encouragement today.
Thank you for spending this time with us. Whatever stage you're at, be honest about where you are today. Choose the next responsible step. And remember that not yet still leaves room for tomorrow.
If you're ready to keep practicing, click the video on the screen. We'll meet you there for another natural English conversation. Until then, take care of yourself, keep your plan flexible, and don't give up on yourself.
Hi, everyone.
Goodbye. We'll talk to you again in the next video.